Hello everyone and welcome back to the next episode of the sub build series here on the channel. Now in the last episode we managed to build this little tiny sub that looks really cool, I think, and in this episode I want to just do some more detailing. I want to add some paint onto it and hopefully do a first little test and see how this is actually going to work with some logic and things. So let's bring it straight into the workbench and let's carry on. So the first thing I wanted to do is I was thinking of actually moving this propeller one back, just to give us a little bit more of a visual space inside of here. At the moment you can see it's kind of blocked a little bit by the spotlights and also by the propeller. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the spotlights, we'll remove the propeller, we'll remove this block and maybe just bring it back by one, something like that. And then over here is where we can go and add the propeller. Now the one problem is it does open up this area here, so we'll just get a window, simple like 1x2 window, and we'll just stick that over there just to seal that area off. Okay, so that area has now been sealed. Another thing I wasn't really happy with was where I put the pumps and how I did this whole system. We've got space inside here to do that, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to move this. I'm going to delete all this extra stuff I don't need anymore, don't want, and just put it back to how it was. And what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the space that we already have. So you'll notice that we have this space and this goes directly in there, so we might as well use it. So what I was thinking is just to go and put that inside there like that. Can even close this off like that, and we can get some, let's do some enclosed angled pipes like that, bring it back. And then we can do it into a straight and also into a T-piece like this. Grab some straight pipes. Get that all connected. Now you can see we've kind of hidden that over here and created a little bit like a bench. And then over here, I was thinking of utilizing this area for the pumps, which I think would be pretty cool. And just like that. So something a little bit different at the back there. Now we do need some way of obviously filling and emptying this area because we do want to flood it at some stage. So we could even add a fluid porch here, another pump there, or we could just make use of this extra space that we have here at the back. So what we can do is we can add a simple fluid port there, and we can add a pump here. Perfect. And just make sure that this one is on out. We're only going to be doing out with this one. Yep, so that one would be fine. Perfect. And let's go, and this one we could add, yeah, I guess we could just add a simple port there. Now that doesn't seal, so we will need to seal that at some stage, but what I'm thinking is probably going to be to put some logic in here at some stage. Also thinking of maybe just closing this area off, giving us a little bit more room inside the cabin. Cool, so that gives us a little bit more space to work around with in the back here. We could delete some more extra blocks, but I don't think we need to right now. Cool. Okay, so we've got that in. We can do some more detailing and adding some more things on here too. So for example, like, yeah, we could go and add like something like that if we wanted to. We could just round off some of these pieces that look a little bit sharp in some spaces. So something like that to just make it look generally a little bit nicer. I do want to add some more batteries. So what I was thinking is actually deleting this off and deleting most of that off, and then just filling out this whole bottom area with batteries. That way we keep the center of gravity quite nice and low on this creation. So like this whole area up with batteries. Like that. Now we do need to add some altitude sensors in at some point because that's how our whole system works. So once again, I was thinking of just adding some altitude sensors just underneath here. And grab some altitude sensors and put them one there, and one there. Cool. Okay, so we're getting along quite nicely. I want to change that to a permanent piece like that. That will look a little better, I think. Cool. Not too bad at the moment. Now, I don't know what exactly we should put here just yet, but we're going to add something over there just to make it look a little bit more nicer and a little more detailed. We could even just add some pipes like that, just to make it look a little bit different at the back. Cool, so we've got that on. I do want to have some type of way to switch the system on and off, so maybe a key switch of some sort, so we can add a key switch in. And I think the next thing I want to do is some painting. So for painting, what I usually like to do is I'll just go through and do replace color, dark gray. And then what I was thinking of doing is like a blue for the floats or the pontoons here, and then maybe like a yellowish for the rest of the build here, and maybe a black at the top, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the painting, and then I'll meet you guys back when we are done with the painting. Alright, so I've just gone and finished the painting. I think the painting looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. We could even shorten the back here just to give it a little bit more of a stubby look to it. So, cool. Okay, so we've got that done. That doesn't look too bad, I think. We can even change the color here to like maybe a lighter gray. So possibly a lighter gray like that could look quite nice. Yeah, why not? Make sure it hasn't painted anything else that we didn't want it to paint, but I don't think it has. Okay, let's add some lights inside our actual cabin. So we're gonna go switch to dark gray, and we could do lights pretty much anywhere we wanted to. Maybe here in the corner will be a good spot. Is there anything in there that we need to be careful of? No, there isn't. Cool. So 2 little lights in there, that should give us more than enough space to see what's going on. Okay, cool. We can even add maybe some seats for some people. So let's see, can we get some extra seats in here? Yeah, there we go. So we can get a little extra seat in there. That means we can have some passengers if we want to inside there. Cool. I don't think we need to add some more seats there. I think 2 seats will be more than enough for this area. I do want to add some scuba gear in here because we will want to get in and out. So we could actually utilize the space that we have right here. Or we could actually just utilize, yeah, I think that's probably the best bet for now, is to utilize that space and just make sure that it is the right color for the rest of this build. So it needs to be this color here. There we go, and fill this all in to the same color. Cool, and just fix that. Okay, so that is definitely the same color now. We've got some scuba gear in here also for emergencies and any other things that we need to do. We could, if we wanted to, we could actually just do something like that. Yeah, why not? That will then give us all this free space inside here. Yeah, let's do that. It gives us quite a lot of free space inside there now, and also makes this look a little better. We can fill that out there. Cool, so we've got our scuba gear in here. We've got some lights in here. We've got our ballast to empty this cabin. We've also got the ballast to empty and fill those side ballasts, or side floats as we would call them. We've got a ton of batteries underneath here. I don't know if I want to add a gyro. I know I used a gyro in the example, but I'm not 100% sure if I want to use that or not. We do need to add our logic, so I was thinking of using this space over here for the logic, or maybe this. Actually, I could possibly use this space over here for the logic. That could be a good idea. Maybe I could fit a big piece of logic there. We've got a key switch to turn it on. We got some lights in here. Got a lot of things that we need, I think, which is pretty good. I was thinking of using some NJ displays up there, so I'll need to get those in. So they'll just be like some simple screens that we can flip between different things like speed. That actually reminds me, we need to get a speed sensor. So we'll do a linear speed sensor and just stick that in somewhere. It doesn't really have to be anywhere special. Probably not there. But let's find somewhere where we can hide one linear speed sensor in this creation. Maybe just here at the back? Yeah, why not? We've got the space for it, so we might as well stick it in there. Cool. Pretty happy with that so far. We can obviously do a little more painting inside here. Why don't we add... We can even add maybe a little window. Yeah, let's add a little window. So let's go to black. And let's go and add a window. So we'll do a 1x2 or 2x1, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Yeah, I think that will be pretty cool. And then you can see out if you want to. Go and even change that like that if we want to. Nice. Cool, let's go and spawn. Let's just see how this thing floats, if it even is going to float or if it's just going to sink straight away. Let's see. Okay, that's not bad. Still seems like it's a little bit too top heavy, as you can see there. So we definitely need to add some more weights. So possibly we can go here and add some weights in here. So let's go and add some weight blocks. Just like that. And we could add some weight blocks here instead of these batteries, to be honest. So we could just do something like that instead. We could even just angle that. Like that. That will just give us a little bit more weight in the front. That looks almost good. It's toppling over a little bit. So it needs a little more weight underneath it still. But we can add more batteries actually. We could add more batteries over there. Or we could even just switch to a big battery. What if we were to do that instead? So if we're deleting all that off, grab a battery. And 2 big batteries here at the back. That could be quite nice. And then maybe just some more weight blocks there. See how much that weighs it down more. Yeah, that seems okay. Doesn't seem like it's toppling over either. Cool. Okay, so the next thing I think I want to do is probably start getting some of the logic in that we have from this build. So I want to get the mic controller in and maybe the gyro. I'm not too sure, but definitely that in, and we'll obviously get all this set up and ready inside there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to get the mic controller in from our actual proof of concept. So I've got it just over here. We're going to place it at the top for now. And I'm going to try and scale it down so that it can fit inside the back here. So we're going to click on it. We're going to go in and we're going to change the size. Before we do anything else, let's just go and change the size of it, move some of the stuff around, update it, grab it, and let's go and stick it inside here. Now, can I delete that? No, not really. Okay, so let's put it over there. It's nice at the back. You can't really see it, which is really cool. So we've got that little piece of logic in, and now we can actually start configuring it. Now we have our 4 different altitude sensors coming in. We've got our 4 engines going out. We've also got on off, so that'll be the key switch. We've got our depth that we want to be at. Now I want to actually control that using our seat. So I'm going to change that to seat. And that's going to allow me to do that. And I also want an output to tell us what our current or desired alt is. Cool, and that's our output. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use an up and down counter for our desired altitude. So for example, when we press the up and down on our keyboard, it's then going to register it and it's then going to push this up or it's going to push it down. And to do that, we're going to use some threshold gates. So we're going to grab 2 of those. We're going to say, hey, when this is 1 and 1 and when this one is -1 and -1, and that's going to come from our seat, from our up and down. And then that's going to go down to that, and that one's going to go down to that. Then that is going to be our desired altitude, which is then going to go through to all of these PIDs. Okay, we're going to go onto the PID here, or the up and down counter. We're going to say the maximum is 0, and then let's say minimum is, let's say, 1,000 meters down. We're going to clamp it, and we're going to say you can change at a rate of 0.1 when we use the up and down. So pretty straightforward there. Let's go and update that, and then we're going to make sure we go to our seat, and our up and down is going to be reset 100%. And that's going to be for depth, okay, which is pretty cool. What else do we need? So we can obviously start getting that logic connected. We have desired altitude going out, so that will be to like some data or a dial or something like that. So let's just put a dial for testing now. I'm going to put it in and put it in pink so we know that we're deleting it at a later point in time. And maybe one for our current altitude would also be quite useful. So current alt and then desired alt. Cool, and we'll just use that for testing purposes. Desired altitude is there, and then current altitude will be one of the altitude sensors. And maybe you can do a player sensor to turn the cabin lights on. so that whenever we get inside here, it automatically just turns the lights on for us. So we can jump there, put that in there, and then connect that over to our lights. Pretty straightforward in how those lights will come on then. Cool. Pretty happy with how that's coming out so far. Okay, let's do the thrust at the back. So we do need to find some space to do it. We could possibly use this little area in here for that. What is at the back here? So we've just got that. Yeah, let's use that. So we're going to do a electrical motor. Let's grab one of those. We already have them, so we can just do it over here. So something like that, and then maybe a corner pipe piece, and then put that into some gearboxes. We're going to face that towards the engine, like so, and then it's going to come out into there and out into there. Pretty straightforward. Let's go and angle that, and get some straight pipe pieces for that, which we have some there. Cool. Symmetry mode on to save us time, and make sure it's the right way. There we go. And make sure we paint this. Cool. Okay, so that means we've got that done, and we can connect that motor over to our WNS of our actual seat there. Make sure it's got some electricity onto the motor and onto the gearbox, and on the gearbox we can set that to like a 3-to-1, so hopefully it won't use too much electricity. As I said, we are going to get the NJ screens over there. I think maybe 1 for GPS, and then maybe 2 for data, that we can switch between a few different things. So if we are going to put GPS, we're going to need a GPS module or sensor, so we can get that in somewhere. On our creation, I'm just worried about the height, so we can put that, let's see where that could fit. Maybe here at the back. Cool. So at the back that will be fine. I'm going to fix this paint block that we have there. Cool, so that's GPS sensor, that'll be for our map. We're also going to need some fin rudders to move ourselves up and down. Now we could do, let's do something over here maybe. So that will just be for stabilization. So we can put some there maybe. Yeah, so 2 there, and we can even add some in the front if we want to. Actually 4 at the back, which will be fine for our stabilization. Now, before we use the gyro for the stabilization, I don't know if we're going to use that or we're going to use a tilt sensor, but for now, I think we'll just leave that unplugged and just see how it works. Cool, so I think we've got everything we need for our first little test run. So let's do it. Let's go and let's do a little test run. Let's just see. Obviously, I don't think this thing is going to work 100% just yet. We're going to need to do some tweaking. But we also need some way to empty or fill this area over here. We have nothing at the moment. Maybe just a key switch on the floor. Cool, just for us to just double check that actually this is working. Let's go and spawn that in. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to jump onto the back of the creation. So I'm going to jump in. There, lights are working, which is good. Fill ballast is 2. Yes, that's working now. So we can definitely fill the ballast and we should start to sink in a few seconds. We are filling the ballast. I should be filling both sides. See, there we go. We are definitely sinking. Which is perfect. Spotlights were 1. Okay, spotlights are definitely working, as you can see. Obviously these won't be here at latest points, but just for testing now it does work. What about up and down? Okay, so that works quite well. Should max out at 0. Up and down should work quite well too. And we can do the key switch to turn our stabilization on. How about forwards and backwards? Yeah, so forwards works. What about left and right? Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Nice. Okay, let's get the stabilization system on. So we're going to say that we want to be at, let's say, -3. Turn stabilizer on. That should then kick those electrical motors on the sides on. And that should then start balancing us. We might need to do some tweaking with it. But that's not bad. -3. Look at that. That's not bad at all. Let's go forwards a bit. Get our spotlights on. So yeah, we definitely need to add those fin rudders in there for the stabilization at the back. But yeah, you can see the ballast system is not happy with that. But not bad at all for the first little attempt at this. I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. Okay, so to fix the issue of us going up and down like that, I want to try and use a tilt sensor. We tried it in the proof of concept, but let's see if we can get it to work over here. Maybe just a little bit of tweaking, we should be able to get it to work quite easily. So we're going to stick it in somewhere where it's out the way. It doesn't have to be anywhere special, possibly even there would be fine. So we've got the little tilt sensor, we're going to get a function block. So a function block, we can find a space to hide that too. See if there's anywhere quite convenient for us. Now we could hide that. We could do that actually. Yeah, why not? Little function block, let's do x times by 6. And we're going to do the tilt sensor into that. And then from the tilt sensor or the function block into our rotation pivots or rotation fins at the back. Make sure those rotation fins have got some electricity on them. And we might need to invert this whole thing, but let's see how that works. So let's spawn that in again. Okay, let's do spotlights. Let's fill our ballast on. And then let's see how those fin rudders at the back are going to keep us stable. They should, in theory. Keep us nice and level. So let's go forwards a bit. In theory, those fin rudders should be working now. Keeping us nice and level. Yeah, look at that. Fin rudders are doing their job. Look how nice and straight we are now. Awesome. Let's go left. Yeah. Nice. But guys, as I was saying, I think that's a great place to end this episode off with. It's been a lot of fun getting that working and just having fun with it. And you guys kind of see the behind the scenes of how I build my creations and how I test them and what goes into them. So hopefully you have enjoyed this. If you have, smash that like button. Also don't forget to that subscribe button and let me know your comments in the video description below. And until the next one, we will see you then.